Imagine standing at the altar, your heart racing with joy, the love of your life by your side, and every detail of your dream wedding falling perfectly into place. Then, out of nowhere, a stranger bursts in, screaming a secret that shatters everything. Welcome to Shocking Stories, where we uncover the chilling truths that turn fairy tales into nightmares. Today, we're diving into a story about a bride whose perfect day became a living horror show when a mysterious woman revealed a truth no one saw coming. Ever think your big day could hide a dark secret? Buckle up, because this tale will make you question everyone you trust. Let's dive in. Her name was Emily Harper, a 32-year-old graphic designer from Boulder, Colorado, about 30 miles northwest of Denver. Emily had spent a year planning her wedding to Michael Reed, a charming 35-year-old architect she'd met at a local coffee shop. Michael was everything she'd dreamed of, kind, funny, with a smile that lit up the room. Their love felt like a movie, and their wedding, set in a quaint chapel nestled in the Rockies, was going to be the grand finale. The guest list was small, just 50 close friends and family, and the venue was picture perfect, with wildflowers lining the aisle and sunlight streaming through stained glass windows. Emily's dress, a flowing lace gown, made her feel like a princess. As she walked down the aisle, Michael's eyes sparkled with love. Everything was perfect until the doors flew open. A woman in her 60s, disheveled and wild-eyed, stormed into the chapel. "Stop the wedding!" she shouted, her voice echoing off the wooden beams. The guests froze, murmurs rippling through the crowd. Emily's heart pounded as the woman pointed at Michael. "He's not who you think he is," she cried. "I'm his mother." Gasps filled the room. Michael's face went pale. He'd told Emily his mother died in a car accident 10 years ago, a tragedy that shaped his quiet, reserved nature. Emily grabbed his arm, whispering, "What's going on?" Michael stammered, "She's lying," but his voice shook. The woman was escorted out by security, but not before dropping a bombshell. "Ask him about the bank in Reno." Emily's world tilted. What would you do if a stranger crashed your wedding with a claim like that? After the ceremony, Emily couldn't shake the woman's words. The reception, held in a barn 5 miles from the chapel, was supposed to be joyous, but Emily felt like she was sleepwalking. Michael brushed it off, saying the woman was a confused relative, but his hands trembled as he cut the cake. Emily's best friend Sarah urged her to dig deeper. "You can't start a marriage with doubts," Sarah said. That night, in their honeymoon suite, Emily confronted Michael. "Who was she really?" she demanded. Michael sighed, admitting the woman was his mother, Ellen, but insisted she was unstable, estranged for years. He swore there was no bank in Reno. Emily wanted to believe him, but the seed of doubt was planted. The next morning, she searched online for Reno Bank Michael Reed. What she found made her blood run cold. A 2013 article from a Reno newspaper described a botched bank robbery that left a guard injured. The suspect, a young man named Michael Reynolds, had vanished. The grainy security photo showed a man with Michael's jawline, his eyes. Emily's heart raced. Was her new husband a criminal? She called Sarah, who suggested hiring a private investigator. Emily hesitated, not wanting to betray Michael, but the woman's words, Ellen's words, haunted her. She found Ellen's contact info through a wedding guest who'd recognized her. Ellen agreed to meet, but only at a diner 50 miles away in a small town called Lyon. "It's not safe here," Ellen said over the phone, her voice low. Ever feel like you're one step away from a truth that could ruin everything? Let's see what Emily uncovers. You ever feel like your fairy tale is crumbling, and the person you love most might be a stranger. That's where Emily was, newly married, staring at a news article that linked her husband to a crime. A mysterious woman, claiming to be his long-dead mother, had crashed her wedding, and now Emily was chasing a truth she wasn't sure she wanted. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're unraveling a wedding day nightmare that's only getting darker. Ready to dive deeper? Because this story's about to take a wild turn. What would you do if you doubted the person you just vowed to spend your life with? Emily drove to the diner in Lyons, her hands gripping the wheel as the Rockies loomed outside. Ellen was already there, sitting in a corner booth, her face lined with worry. She looked nothing like the frantic woman from the wedding, calm but guarded. "Michael's not my son," Ellen began, her voice steady. Emily's stomach dropped. Ellen explained that Michael was her stepson, born to her late husband and his first wife, who died when Michael was a baby. Ellen raised him, but at 18, he fell in with a rough crowd in Reno, Nevada, about 800 miles away. In 2013, he was involved in a bank robbery that went wrong. Ellen thought he'd fled the country, but when she saw his wedding announcement in a Boulder paper, she knew she had to warn Emily. "He's not who he says he is," Ellen said. "His real name is Michael Reynolds." Emily's mind spun. Michael had told her his entire life story, growing up in Denver, studying architecture, losing his mother in a crash. Was it all a lie? Ellen handed her a faded photo of a teenage Michael standing outside a Reno bank, his arm around a man with a scar on his cheek. "That's Vince," Ellen said. "He planned the robbery. Michael was his getaway driver." Ellen claimed Vince was still out there, and Michael was terrified of him. Emily's hands shook as she pocketed the photo. She wanted to confront Michael, but Ellen warned her, "If Vince knows you're asking questions, you're not safe." As Emily left the diner, she noticed a black SUV parked across the street, its driver watching her. Was it Vince, or just her imagination? Back home, Emily couldn't look at Michael the same way. He was working late, as usual, giving her time to dig. She searched their house, a modern two-story, 10 miles from Boulder's downtown. In Michael's office, she found a locked drawer. Using a paperclip, she pried it open, revealing a burner phone and a stack of cash, $5,000 in crisp bills. Her heart raced. Why would an architect need this? She turned on the phone, finding texts from an unknown number. "Keep quiet, or you know what happens." The last message was dated the day before the wedding. Emily's knees buckled. She called Sarah, who urged her to go to the police, but Emily needed more proof. She contacted a private investigator, Tom, who specialized in fraud cases. Tom agreed to look into Michael Reynolds, warning Emily to stay low. "If he's running from someone, you're in the crossfire," he said. Tom dug into the Reno robbery, finding court records that confirmed Michael Reynolds was a suspect, though never charged due to lack of evidence. A witness had mentioned a second man, Vince Carter, who'd served 5 years for related charges and was released in 2018. Tom tracked Vince to a motel in Fort Collins, 50 miles north of Boulder. Emily insisted on going with him, desperate for answers. As they approached the motel, Emily's phone buzzed with a text from Michael. "Where are you? We need to talk." Her heart pounded. Did he know she was onto him? The SUV from the diner was parked outside the motel, its driver nowhere in sight. Ever get that feeling you're walking into a trap? Let's see what Emily uncovers. You ever feel like you're holding a grenade? One wrong move away from everything blowing up. That's where Emily was, standing outside a seedy motel, chasing a truth about her new husband that could destroy her life. A crashed wedding, a mysterious woman, and a past tied to a crime. Every step felt like a step toward danger. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're about to uncover the final twist in a tale that canceled a fairy tale. Ready for the shock of a lifetime? Because this one's going to hit hard. What would you do if you realized your spouse was a stranger? Tom and Emily entered the motel, the air thick with cigarette smoke and tension. Room 12 was Vince's, according to Tom's source. Tom knocked, and a man with a scarred cheek opened the door, his eyes narrowing when he saw Emily. "You're Michael's wife," Vince said, not a question. Before Emily could respond, he pulled them inside, locking the door. Vince wasn't what she expected, not a thug, but a tired man in his 50s, his voice low and urgent. "Michael's in trouble, Cassel," he said. "He owes me, and he's running out of time." Vince explained that Michael had betrayed him during the Reno robbery, tipping off the cops to save himself. When Vince got out of prison, he tracked Michael to Boulder, demanding $50,000 to stay quiet. Michael had been paying in installments, using his architecture job as a front. Emily's world collapsed. Michael wasn't just a liar. He was living a double life, tied to a dangerous man. Vince showed her a photo of Michael meeting him in an alley a week before the wedding, proof he'd been lying. But the real shock came when Vince said, "Ellen's not his mother, she's mine." Ellen had lied to protect Vince, her estranged son, hoping to scare Emily away from Michael to keep her safe. Emily felt betrayed by everyone. Tom urged her to leave, but Vince grabbed her arm. "Tell Michael to pay, or you're both done." Tom pushed Vince back, and they fled to the car, speeding back to Boulder. Emily's phone buzzed again. Michael, frantic. "I'm at home. I can explain everything." At their house, Michael was waiting, his face pale. He admitted to the robbery, the lies, the payments to Vince. "I wanted to protect you," he said, tears in his eyes. But Emily couldn't trust him anymore. She called the police, who arrested Michael for his role in the robbery, based on Vince's testimony. Ellen, devastated, disappeared again, leaving Emily with a broken marriage and a heart full of questions. She moved to a new apartment 100 miles away in Colorado Springs, trying to rebuild. The worst part? Vince is still out there, and Emily checks her locks every night, wondering if he'll come for her. So, here's the question. Could you marry someone hiding a past this dark? This is Shocking Stories, and we're just getting started. Hit that like button if this blew your mind, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping tales. Comment below, what would you do if your wedding was crashed by a secret like this? Share this video, because sometimes the truth is more terrifying than fiction.